Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this week's options watch list. Before I get into the watch list, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, looking at the put to call ratio right now, it is at, let's see, I didn't even have it pulled up. It's at 0.56, so it's pretty low, not extremely low. We've seen it lower. Now, looking at the economic calendar for the week. Monday, don't see anything. Tuesday, we have core CPI month to month and year to year at 8:30. Then we get the 10-year bond auction at 1 o'clock. Wednesday, we have the 30-year bond auction at 1 o'clock. No news in the morning. Thursday, we have core PPI, core retail sales, PPI retail sales, unemployment claims at 8:30. Don't see anything else. Friday, Empire State Manufacturing and preliminary consumer sentiment inflation expectations on Friday. So we got some news coming out this week, so could be an interesting week. We'll have to see what happens. Right now, before I go to cover SPY, I just want to look at VIX. VIX did pop a little bit, not as much as I was hoping for. I was hoping we'd get a bigger run than what we did, so we got to what, 15.50 and a pullback. So we'll have to see if we have any continuation on VIX. If VIX does gap up and goes over 15 again, we could end up seeing a nice run on VIX. VIX needs to get to 20, 22, maybe even 25 sometime soon. Got a lot of things going on. So we'll have to see if anything happens. NVIDIA had a nasty pullback, but we'll cover that in a minute. We have a red doji candle on the weekly SPY. SPY has bearish divergence going on the daily. RSI on the weekly is above 70. Hourly, it's come down quite a bit, but it still could see a good pullback. So I would watch SPY under 510. We're pushed to 505. We get under 505. We got a gap down here to 500, sub 500s to fill down to 497. So we got that gap right there that needs to be filled. We could end up seeing a gap fill this week, and then we get 490, 485, 480, 375. So, but we could, SPY just likes to have like one red candle or two red days, like 2 red days and pop, 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 and we could have another small red day and pop. That's been the thing that's been happening for the last few weeks. 2 red days and a pop. So let's see if we do stick to that, or maybe Friday's 518 level was the top, and we actually do have a significant pullback of at least 10%, I would like to say. But who knows if that will end up happening. Every time you think that SPY is weak, it's not. It just continues to rage. So I'll cover NVIDIA towards the end. Disney is still gapped out from earnings. Pullback from what was it, Tuesday right here. It's coming back down to the 107.50 area. It gets underneath 107. Probably going to see a gap fill to 100. So I would watch Disney for a gap fill under 106, 107. BA is at the bottom of the channel, at the weekly channel. It's do or die for BA. BA's been having all kinds of problems with landing gear issues, screws coming out, hatches not closing. So right now, the chart is saying bearish because you're making lower highs and it's flattening out at the 197 area, 198. It breaks this 198 area, we can end up seeing down to 190, 185, 180, even 175, 170. But this is a pretty significant area on the weekly, so maybe we end up turning around and bouncing. Sometimes bad news is good news. BA could just already had its reaction. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens, but I would watch it underneath 198. And if it doesn't get underneath 198, I'd watched over 200 for a push to the top of the channel at 215, because it's been sticking as 195 to 215 on the weekly channel right there. So definitely keep an eye on that. For BA, Costco had a massive pullback on the daily. You can see the weekly candle is really, really bad. But I mean, look at the RSI. It went from 80 to 30 in one day. It could end up definitely going lower, but I would watch it over 730 to have a dead cat bounce or some kind of RSI relief or something like that. We could end up having a bounce to 740 or 750, or even gap resistance at 755, then end up pulling back down below this area of 725, or possibly even going to 700. I mean, and Netflix. Costco does not pull back, and when it does, it just continues to rage. So I'm sure a lot of people are probably going to buy the dip here. But I mean, the RSI was well above 80 on the weekly, and the last time it was like that, it was over here and it dropped, but it was also 80 right in here, and it dropped a little bit, but not much. So it really doesn't pull back. It did pull back quite a bit right here, but we had a bearish divergence going on right there, making higher highs, and RSI is making lower highs. Histogram was doing the same thing, but right now we don't have anything really like that right now. But I mean, obviously we have the bearish divergence going on the daily, but we already had the drop. Who knows if I'm just thinking we're probably going to have a bounce, then maybe a dead cat bounce, and maybe go lower. We'll have to see with Costco if that's what ends up happening. Meta pullback a little bit, not quite significant based on like NVIDIA in the market. I mean, it still finished green on the weekly. RSI still way above 80 on the daily, on the weekly. I mean, what is it? It's like 86. It's just stupid. So I'd watch for puts underneath 500 for push down to 480, 475, even gap support down here at the 460, 450 area on Meta. So definitely keep an eye on that. Netflix, it's had a massive run. I mean, from the earnings right here, which is what this is when the market started recovering, and then just had earnings which helped catapult it more, and same here. Excuse me. So I'm looking for a little bit of like exhaustion. RSI is above 70, bearish divergence going on right here. As you can see, it's higher highs. RSI is making lower highs. Histogram is making lower highs too. So see a bearish divergence going on here. You don't want to buy calls on a bearish divergence because they could pull the rug on you at any moment. So I would watch it underneath 600, push to 590, 580, 570, 560. Basically, every $10, 550. We get a gap fill right down here at the 560 we need to fill. So, and we get gap right here at 575, 580 to fill. So we got quite a few gaps to fill on Netflix. Who knows if we will fill them or not. NVIDIA, what we're talking about, had a nasty red day right here. And the tail candle on the weekly, and the RSI is what, 90. That's ridiculous on the weekly, but we had 90 over here at high 80s, and it pulled back a little bit, consolidate a little bit to bring down the RSI, then takes off. So I mean, we could sit here and chop around 900, or they could end up just pushing it up to 950 again. I mean, we could go lower, but I mean, at least this is a massive bubble that needs to pop. But every time you think that it's going down, like right here, it's starting to show weakness, it popped again. It showed a little weakness, it popped again. Now it showed major weakness. I mean, is this a massive trap? Is everyone going to pile into puts thinking that the top is in, that it's over, and Netflix is going to go back to 500? I mean, it could. I mean, it probably will eventually, but it's not going to go when everyone expects it to. So I'm thinking that this is just a major trap on NVIDIA. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up popping tomorrow and we go back up to 900, 950, maybe even 1,000 before we end up going down more. I mean, I know the RSI on the weekly is really crazy high, but to me, this was such a major red candle that I think everyone's inputs and everyone's expecting this Titanic to sink, if more or less, for an analogy. But I don't think it's ready yet. I think it's going to have one more pop to take out the puts before it does anything. So definitely keep an eye on that Tesla. It's just not looking good for Tesla. I mean, I thought it was going to pop right here, and it just got hammered on. So basically it's that do or die for Tesla right here. It gets below 170. We could see 165, 160 on the weekly. So, but I mean, you get a bullish divergence going on right here. You can see that this is making a lower low, and RSI is making a higher low, and same with histograms. So that usually means we're going to have a bounce. Doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. It could be next week or weeks from now. But I would keep an eye on Tesla. I would watch it over 180. It gets over 180. We're going to see 185, 190, 195, 200. And Tesla's one of those things where it could have a massive day out of nowhere. I mean, like look right here. I went from 188 to 200 in a day. So I went 12 points, which doesn't seem like a lot. But if it was before the reverse split, that probably would have been a $40 day. So yeah, Tesla, keep an eye on that for the bullish divergence to play out. So that's going to do it for the watch list. Got a lot going on this week, and we'll just take it day by day. That's why you need to be in the room, and we'll just go from there. So that's it, and thanks for watching.